I'm Michael from Source Stoke, and I'm the borrower for this project at Abbots Way. Plan with this project is we bought the existing house and it had planning permission for a new build house, which you can see here, and we're renovating the existing house at the same time as building the new property. This area of Westlands is known for having quite unique, distinctive houses. This one was built in the early 30s by a local timber merchant, so it's got a lot of features, unique features. We're renovating it and bringing it up to a modern standard that people want to have, and then both of the properties will be sold when they're done. We're in now what's called Newcastle under Lyne, which is sort of joined into Stoke. Stoke is one of those places that doesn't really have a city centre. It's made up of lots of different individual towns. The existing house is getting to the point of second fix now, so that means that there's another 2 to 3 weeks of work before it's ready for painters and the decorating. New windows are going in next week. So that's on the final stretch, if you like. The new build house, well, I mean, you can see in the background, we're very close to getting the roof on. The roof will be on next week. In terms of time scale, we're probably a third, halfway through on the new build. The important thing is with new builds is getting out of the ground. Once you're out of the ground and the superstructure's built, then you can just get everybody in and it all comes together quickly. So we've had a number of challenges on this project. We had them initially with planning, discharging planning conditions. That took an excessive amount of time. We had some engineering issues with a structural engineer. You can't quite see it, but there's a tree, next door neighbour's tree on the side of the house, so that involved a lot of extra additional work. So it's just been a number of things, but we just kept pushing forward and forward. We had COVID has caused some issues with site shutdowns. I had COVID myself, and I can tell you it's not that pleasant. So we had a period where there was no one working on here. And then of course, obviously in Britain, it's always with the weather. But we're coming into spring now. We're getting up to roof height, so don't anticipate there being any more issues or challenges, hopefully. Are we on time? No, we're behind. We're approximately 6 weeks behind, based on the challenges that I talked about just now. But we've caught up nearly 2 weeks in the last 4. I'm comfortable that we have the opportunity to be able to catch up on the schedule. The existing house, that's on schedule, but it's the new build that is. Although they're 2 separate properties, they're obviously clearly tied together, because until one is done, I can't put the boundary fence up and separate the 2. So they both need to get to a certain level before we can then look at selling them. More or less on budget. The exit plan for the properties is to progress them to the point where they're nearly finished and then sell them both individually, obviously. So the new house is actually just gone on the market. I've spoken to the agent at length about this, and then we decided in the end that we would put it on the market and then just see what happens. There's a few people interested in it, but most people want to see it progressed a little bit further. In about 3 or 4 weeks, we'll hit the cut-off point where anybody would be able to make choices about kitchens and things like that. So that's why we did it. But there's definitely interest, and there's quite a lot of pent-up interest in the existing house as well. We've even had people coming in and knocking on the door and asking what's happening to it and is it going to be for sale. The purchase price of the project was $385,000, plus all the fees and everything else. The GDV was $900,000, although that's increased slightly since the original loan. The loan through Source Capital is $595,000 and the term time is 8 months.